Mit einer zauberhaften Idee erobert Gail S.Halvorsen die Kinderherzen von West-Berlin. Süßigkeiten, die an kleinen Fallschirmen vom Himmel schweben.
Hi Gail. Let me first say that I'm very excited. I've never been invited to a 100th birthday party so far. And it's getting even better from here, since it's your birthday. Candy Bomber, Chocolate Pilot, Mr. Wiggly Wing. And allow me to say what you always say when you call me, Hello Sunshine. Or, in all seriousness, again you're an American hero who calls my hometown Berlin his zweite Heimat. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, happy birthday, my dear friend, Mr. Wiggly Wing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mr. Halvorsen. Happy birthday to you.
Daily life in Berlin. Anita Staple explains. In the last weeks of war, there were always plane sirens. Night after night, we went to the bunker at Hermannplatz. It was always burning outside. When we came back out, there was smoke everywhere. You could hardly breathe. Then we looked around. Is Grandma's house still standing? Is Auntie's house still standing? Is our house still standing?
Port Bacon. Karl-Heinz Goller, Bremerhaven says, as kids, we went to the harbor a lot. One boat after the other docked to supply the U.S. Army, and later also the German population. Whoever could find work there was lucky. My cousin worked in the Kaiserhafen for the big U.S. freightliners. There was a lot of desperation at home, so you had to go see what you could gather. Once he found bacon on board one of the ships, and he bound it around to his stomach underneath his sweater. But the security guards at the port were strict, and he realized, I won't get through with it. Followed by the military police, he ran back to the boat, threw the bacon rind away, and pretended to sleep. The police woke him up and asked, Did you see the thief? No, he said, and went back home. He had risked a lot with that act. He had later found bacon, more shortening, and corned beef in the care package, and we were thrilled.
Rita Lee from Bremerhaven remembers, our house was bombed. My mother and I went to live with relatives in Osnabrück. But then there were grants with families who housed refugees, so we were sent back to Bremerhaven. My mother was in her late stages of pregnancy. We moved into an old and decrepit attic. My father was released from imprisonment, and we received our first care package. We were blessed. My father desperately needed a pair of pants, and what did we find under the cans in the package? A pair of brown corduroy pants with an address label. My mother immediately wrote back that we received everything, and we could make good use of these things, since we were expecting a baby. A few weeks later, another big care package came, filled with baby products.
Eugen Gutrecht from Stuttgart contributes this little story. I clearly recall the fatal misunderstanding. General Clay asked Germany what was particularly missing in their country, and all he got as an answer was corn. Corn, what Americans call mice. They sent huge amounts of it, something which we had so far only given chicken and rabbits. My grandmother complained, I can't believe it. We're hungry and they're sending us chicken food.
Kristen Schneider from San Francisco tells the following story. I was only 5, but nevertheless, I have many memories of that time. We were also one of those Berlin families who received a care package. I can remember the milk and potato powder. We never could really stir the milk powder down completely, so we enjoyed the sweet clumps. When the air bridge started, one of our relatives got us a seat on a British airplane. My older sister didn't want to go, so I went. I stayed 9 months in Frankfurt with Nantes. My mother was happy that at least I had something to eat. I heard from kids who had stayed in Berlin and were eating pages from the telephone book.
Marin Beckermann, Munich, talks about Ami Patkar. Father did not want charity. If there is one thing I kept, it is my pride, he said. Pride or not, children. Now it's time to go to the parish office and get one of those American packages. My mother replied when she didn't know what to do. For us, these packages were a small miracle every time. Corned beef was in them, things from which Mom conjured semolia slices, pancakes, or noodles. Father couldn't eat any of them, didn't touch a bite. For us, it was a pure luck.
A Berlin telegraph. The first 2 wagons arrived yesterday at the train station Steglitz with the first 1,480 packages from America. Both wagons are very tightly sealed so that they couldn't be opened with regular tools. Big and special pliers had to be used to cut through the finger-thick wire. Mayor Jochen opened the sliding doors and the 49-pound army packages, each containing 10 days' rations, were loaded onto a truck and brought to a warehouse in the Geranienstrasse. There the mayor assured that the goods would be protected against looters through the police force and special alarms. A welfare organization took care of the distribution of the packages. In the distribution process, old people and kids were prioritized.
The governing mayor of Berlin, Michael Miller, reports, as a child, my father lived in Kaiser Korso, the last street in front of the airport Tempelhof. A famous historic photo shows Berlin children playing with toy airplanes and reenacting air bridges. That's exactly what my father did. He had told me about it, how he, as a child, stood with many others under the candy bombers that flew at the Tempelhof in a minute pulse to bring coal and other goods into West Berlin. The children competed against each other to identify the number on the airplane first. If it was a plane with a double-digit number, everyone knew this plane would give us chocolate. That's how I learned about air bridges and care packages. Over 3 million care packages came into Berlin during the post-war days, 200,000 of them during the blockades. That was an example of an act of solidarity. That saved our lives back then. It was important that we honor this help and use it as a good example of solidarity.
Geburtstag viel Glück, zum Geburtstag viel Glück,
Zum Geburtstag, Herr Halvorsen.
zum Geburtstag viel Glück.